Welcome to the fastest daf in town. Today on Masech the Ksubas daf Tzadi Hey. We're going to begin on Tzadi Hey Amud by the Mishnah, very top. Misha Hayam Nasi Beis Noshim. Now, a person is married to two women, and this situation you have, like we mentioned previously, they're on two different dates. So one woman is entitled to get her ksuba over the other one. Umachar Sadehu, and the man sold his field. And Rashi says, Hamashubad Luksubasa. So the ksuba is linked to that property. So therefore, because of that, when the ksuba comes due, the woman could take the property. Now there's two women. Let's say this one property is equal for, let's say, one of the women. So the Kasva Harishayna, the first wife, the one he married first, wrote, Lolokeach, to the one who bought the field. Dina devarim ainli imcha. Don't worry about it. I'm never going to take this field from you. So hashni moitzia mehalokeach. So it's a very interesting circular motion will happen. So the second wife, so the first wife can't take this property, and let's say the husband has nothing else, and both these consumers are due. So since she can't take it, but the second woman could take it, so the second woman will take the field away from the lokeach. Now, then the first wife can come and take it from the second, because she only said that she will not take it from the lokeach, but she could take it now from the second wife. So now the first wife has it, but now the lokeach can go and take it back from the rishayna, because the lokeach can say, well, 1 second, you said that this land shouldn't be by you. So now the lokeach gets it back. When it keeps going round and round, there has to be some type of compromise that has to be made up over here, because otherwise it'll keep happening. Once the lokeach takes it, the second wife will take it, the first wife will take it from the second wife, the lokeach will take it from the first wife, and so on and so forth. The same type of issue of this circular motion, in which we'll have to reach some compromise at the end, otherwise this will just be an ever-going issue, can also take place with a Baal Chov, and also a woman who, an Isha Baal Chov. And Rashi says, the Gemara is going to explain that, so we'll hold off of that. The Gemara says, V'chi kasvule my havi. It doesn't make any sense. Why would we say that this woman who says that din devarim ainli imcha, why does that even mean anything? That I have no connection to your field. All these statements don't mean anything. So Gemara says, we're talking about a situation where the lokeach made a kinyan. Says Rashi, that was written to the wife. So therefore, when there is a kinyan, so then it actually works. And therefore, her statement works, or that which is written down works, that she cannot take the land from the lokeach. The question is, how does that help? Maybe she could always turn around and say, I only did this to make my husband feel good, to let her know, I don't need your money, I don't care about your money. But the truth is that at the end of the day, she would like to have this field back. She would like to take the field. After all, didn't we not learn something similar to this? Lokach min ha'ish. If you took from a man, because of lokach min ha'isha, then you took from a woman, mechu batal. We say that it's not a good transaction, says Rashi. Mashmul gamri. It's not a good transaction at all. Even in the situation where the husband is alive, we're talking about is one of these three fields. Let's say there's a field that was designated specifically for ksuba. Was written within the ksuba. So in all these different situations, even though it was purchased from the isha, it doesn't make any difference. It's not a good sale. Why? Because she can just say that I only said this in order and allowed for this transaction, if you will, not because I really want to. I just want my husband to feel good. So maybe since there's this concept, therefore the mekach is batul, what she says here shouldn't work either. This should be a good claim that she could say. So if we analyze it further, there's actually a machlokus. Let's say you wrote to the first one, says Rashi, Shtar Mecher al Sadachas. You wrote a document of sale regarding one specific field. However, and you did not you didn't sign it. It says Rashi, she doesn't therefore agree to the sale because she didn't sign on it. And then there was a second document to a second lokeach, and regarding this she does sign. So ibda ksubata. So we say that she loses her ksuba de rameir, says Rashi. Im ein sham b'nei chayron. If there's no other properties, shari harishan oimer. Regarding the first one, they could say hinachti loch makom ligvos simenu, that I left over a place for you to collect. Says no, she has the ability to say that I only did this again to make him feel good. Atem malachem alai. So we see there is this machlokus whether or not we say nachas ruach hasila bali. For Rabbi, who is our Mishnah, stam lahachak rameir, that he'll hold like a stam Mishnah like Rav Meir. And we said the Rav Meir holds you don't say nachas ruach hasila bali like our Mishnah, and therefore it works, and therefore she cannot collect from the lokeach. The stam lahasam k'Rab Yehuda, and over there he'll hold it regarding Gittin like Rabbi Yehuda that says that we do say nachas ruach hasila bali. Okay. Rav Papa. So on this Rav Papa says, as we look in Rashi, masnisin kishahaisa garusha. It's actually talking about, it's not for a nachas ruach because she was divorced. And then afterwards she wrote this. So it's v'gerusha v'dibri hakoil. So we're talking about a gerusha, then certainly we cannot be talking about a situation of saying nachas ruach hasisi l'bayli, which is question. Let's look at TB. It's also TB 20. Misha haya nasi yamachar asadehu b'kasar yishayin l'lekech keitzim misya shevas mishnah alpha shitas Rabbi Yehuda the Savi Yechel he should timer nachas ruach hasisi l'bayli. L'chari she should be able to just push it off. So how do we say? It's begerusha v'divri hakoil. So this is TB 20. So certainly you're not going to say nachas ruach hasisi l'bayli if we're talking about a situation of divorce. TA 19. So there's actually two answers. Madua ani choyel loy nachas ruach hasisi l'bayli begin. So either hacha ayir begerusha or hacha koi because kaidem la'acher v'lochas moloi. Okay, which we didn't see that yet. It's talking about a situation where it was written but not signed. She didn't sign to it. Okay. Okay. Fine. Weiter. Ravashi Amar Kul Rameri. Really, this whole thing could be like the sheet of Rameir. Now, Rameir said, again, when it comes to this field, where she didn't sign on the first document, she did on the second one, the Ibda Ksubasi Shulus Ksuba, the Adkan will come Rameir Hasam El Bishne Lukuchos. Over there, because we're talking about two different people to buy. The Amrullah, that they could say to her, if in fact you did it because you wanted to show a favor to your husband, to the first one you should have done this. But she didn't agree to the first purchaser. So it must be she wasn't creating nachas ruach, right? The very fact that she did not agree to the first one, she could not now say regarding the second one that nachas ruach hasisi l'bayli. It doesn't make any sense because you would have done that originally. So we're talking about what our mission is talking about to one person, right? So when it comes to one person, in fact, that Rameir will be Maida, that in that situation, you would say Nachas Ruach Hasisi l'bayli. And our Mishnah is talking about a situation that was written to someone else. Says Rashi, the hachal ashmina mina chasimasa kayemes. Tanan hasam. So we learned over there in Ephraim nechasim mishubadim. You don't collect from encumbered properties. You cannot collect from land which is connected to a loan. But makam sheish nechasim b'nei we know ve'afilu hein ziboris. If let's say you want to collect a loan. So even though the person who owes you the money, the only land that they have is inferior quality, so you have to take that, even though you would certainly rather have Baininus, which he sold at some point. There's a lien on that land, but since he has B'nei Charin land, you take the Ziboris. Iboilhu. Ishtatuf B'nei Chari Mahu. The litra of Mimishabadi. What if, says Rashi, the available property is basically ruined. It's like flooded. So the question is, so do you also collect from there, or can you collect from Mishuvadim? That the woman, the document was signed for the first lokech, but she didn't sign off on it. She didn't want that sale. Can Rameir, again, will hold that the fact that she did, she can't see nachas rochas hisla bali. V'isach l'daitach is tadov b'nei chari tarav mimishabadi. That even when you have inferior lands of b'nei charin, you can still, at that point, you can collect from nechas mishabadim. Nehi de'ib ksubasa misheni marisha miyat tigbi. So why does he say that the ksuba is lost? I can understand she can't collect from the second one because she signed off on it, but she should still be able to collect from the first one. So Amr Abdach Mar Yitzchak, my ibda misheni. You're right, it means from the second. Amr Shtechus B'davar. Chada the ibda legami mashma. When it says she lost on her ksuba, it means completely. Votanya. Furthermore, we learn loiva min echad. If you borrow from one, umachar nechasav l'shnayim, and then you end up selling your property to two people, the kasav b'alchayv l'lokech sheni, and this is similar to our Mishnah, and you write. Because of Balchayv, the one who is a Balchayv writes to the Lekech Sheni, Din Avarim Ainli Imcha, that I'm not going to take anything from you. Ein lo al Lekech Rishon Klum. The Lekech Rishon doesn't get anything. Hasam Iud Avse Nashi Biadayim. Here in this situation, it's different because you're master Biadayim. You lost it by doing this yourself with your hands. Says Rashi, Diaf Marishan Ibda. Feel hachi lo nifshit mina ishtadav b'nei chari lotar mishabadi dehasam hid of the ksubasa. So you cannot learn out one case from that to the next. Okay, let's quickly see question 11, which I'm not sure if I did yet. Question 11. Which is what we just said. Okay. So the question is, Ha'im goiva miyam lokech rishon? Can you at least collect from the lokech rishon? The answer is no, you cannot. Umayshna mahad deboile the shtata b'nei chari im goiva mishabadi. If the land was destroyed, whether you can collect from mishabadim. So he said it's not comparable to the case of the shtatuf where the land was destroyed. The hacha ihu the afsid and afshi, because over here he's the one that lost out himself. Says Rashi, Hakir sin hasim iu afsan nashni v'kula rava kaimerla lo tema my ibdik subasa misheni daf marishan ibda fil haki lo nibshut mina. You can't learn out from here ishtaduf b'nei chari lo tar mishabadi that you can't get from mishabadim because hasam over there heed of the ksubasa. There they lost the ksuba. V'hadik tani ein lo alokech rishon klum chad taimahu. Hide. You lost yourself. Since when it came to this case, you don't collect anything because you specifically caused the loss to yourself by saying din dvarim ainli imcha. Armale Rav Yemel Rav Ash, as we continue to Tzadi Hamad Beis. Vaha Masah B'chol Yoim, that we know. Says Dahahu Gavra de Mishkan le Pardes. So there's a person who had a mashkin of a orchard, l'chabri, to his friend. L'eser shnin. He had it for 10 years. Let's go right into Rashi. The Dayanin Danin de Kivan de Shtate b'nei Chayri. Do we know that if, let's say, the properties are inferior, Tarv Mishabadi, that you could definitely collect from a lien. So what happened? So again, there was this property for 10 years. This Rashi says kerem, a vineyard, Eser Shanim, Shiachlenu Eser Shanim. He'll eat there for 10 years. So Taxu Labalim Bloy Mois. And then he'll give it back without money. Vakash Lachami Shanim. And all of a sudden, the field got old after 5 years. So also commanded Rabbanim Vakasule Tirpa. And they wrote this Tirpa, basically saying that you can collect from another field. So Hasim Nami Inuhu Deafsenav Shayu. Over here again, he lost out himself. Why? Kivanda Haviyada Depardesa Ovid the Kish, because we know that when it comes to a vineyard, it does happen that sometimes it gets old. Lui Boiluhu Lumizman, he shouldn't have purchased it. What is Allah? The truth is that you could collect from Mishabadim. Rabbi, if a person says that the property is yours, this is the wife saying this, and let's say she gets married, havi. Come on, who's this like? And the chasim to you, and the acharayis is to ploini. Yard harishon amachal hasheni. So the first one goes down and sells to the second. TV Rabbi the second one can only get whatever the first one has left over. What is considered to be like a wicked person? Someone who tricks people by telling them to do exactly what Rabbi Shmuel just advised. And what's going to happen is the person's going to end up losing out in this situation. So in Rashi, Amr lepenuya, a person he says to a woman, so in that situation, it's according to Rabbi Shmuel, he says, Ein l'shini el mashashar rishain. So he's only able to get what from the first. So the ki kaimer tinase nises kaimer. It means that they were married. She died. Then the Baal could take from the Lekuchos. Let's say in V'acharayich miad Baal, Lekech miad acharayich. So again, this circular motion. We mentioned before when there's this circular motion that should be split up, we should make some compromise. Versus Hasam Yislup say Lekuhu. It depends. Over there's a loss for everyone. Over here, we're only doing by our Mishnah, and we're talking about a loss for the Lekech. Also, Rav from Amr was Shabdal Kamei Rabashi. Mi Amr Rabbi Hachi, Mi Amr Rabbi Nechasilech V'Acharech L'Pleini. Amdam Nises Bal Lekech Avi V'Ein Acharech B'Makam Bal Klum. So Amr Hasim Di Amr Lekashi Panuya. It was said when she was not married. Hacha Di Amr Lekashi Nesua. So my Carmel, what is he saying to her? V'chein bal chayim, tana v'chein bal chayim, v'shnei lukuchos, v'hanisha bal chayim, v'shnei lukuchos. Hanu lach mi shahai nasai, hanach mi shahai nasai, hanach mi shahai nasai. Yad kan.